Hey guys, Beater Bricks bringing you guys another video. Today we're going to BrickFair, Virginia. We're gonna look at some cool MOCs, hopefully find some cool things to buy, maybe. It's at a different location this year, so let's go ahead and get there. All right, guys, so we are back from the LEGO convention. We're gonna go ahead and look at a handful of MOCs that I thought were the best, personally, in my opinion, that were at BrickFair, Virginia. Obviously, this is the one at the beginning of the year. There's always one at the end of the year. So let's go ahead and continue where we left off in the video. There'll be music and other things thrown in there, but really going to be talking about what I saw, what I love to see, what I like to see more of. And also, I have a special shout out for someone that I saw at the convention. So let's go ahead and talk about a couple of them. We made it to BrickFair, Virginia. Let's go ahead and see some cool mods. What I will say is the coolest thing about going to LEGO conventions, you get to see works of art like this. This is a image someone made using thousands of different pieces. You guys can see wheels all over this in black. You guys can see different trees if you zoom in here on this photo. I'm going to have you guys will see that there is just dozens of little pieces in this one image, which is really cool. So this is one of the coolest MOCs I saw. For one, it has the Polar Express that I wanted to build, but more importantly, it's a Santa is built for war MOC. You guys can see that we have a bunch of elves and we have a bunch of World War II tanks and soldiers fighting over here, fighting the Germans, and Santa's Workshop is doing a bunch of really cool stuff. Now there were a bunch of other really cool ones. Like this one's kind of like a out of the toy box type of Lego set where everything is all just in the same place. It's kind of chaotic but cool. We have a Lord of the Rings, Isengard Tower. Obviously really cool before the Ents attacked it in the second movie, but just really cool. The detail is really nice. They have lots of depth in this build. And one really cool detail, if you look at the top, we actually have Saruman at the top, which is pretty neat. I love seeing those little details. We got an ATTE with a little clone battle here. Just pretty cool MOC again. Kind of chaotic, but it's a battle. It's supposed to be nuts. Definitely enjoy it. Second Battle of Geonosis, I think this was called. Just, I love all the attention to detail. Changing out the red leg there to have a trooper who's taking some damage. And then we have one of the coolest MOCs that I thought was there, which was the Season 7 finale scene of Clone Wars with the damaged Venator and all the clone heads there. And one thing that was really cool about this table as well, before I show you guys this next clip, is they actually had a ton of MOCs from different parts of the Clone Wars. They were little episodes cherry picked out that were just really cool that I felt like you guys needed to see. I really appreciate when people take parts of a fandom or a creation and then they go through and strip out the parts that people found the most meaningful with and then making it out of Lego or doing something really cool with it. So let's go ahead and show you guys this. So obviously the first one we have here is Umbara with the 212th and the 501st. The next MOC they decided to do was the Betrayal on Coruscant with the Coruscant Guard and Fives getting shot, some clones walking through the woods. We have, and then obviously the scene in Season 7 of Clone Wars, the Ahsoka and all the 332nd troopers on the Venator Bridge. We also had this little MOC here that I thought was really cool of Hoth. It reminded me of the Battlefront 2 map. Other MOCs, but I really enjoyed was this one. It's like a large castle scene with tons of detail in the water and just everything about it just screamed so much passion and joy put into this build with this full city. Just genuinely breathtaking, cool to see. And then this one is one that I found really important to me personally. I talked to this creator for 10-15 minutes about the process of how to build, plan it out. They built this MOC with about 8 people, and everyone built different sections of these 32 by 32 plates, and they had to coordinate their brick colors and the parts they were getting. And so it ended up being a G.I. Joe MOC, where they have Cobra versus the G.I. Joes, and it just came together so well. The waves, all the little islands they built was fantastic. they put so much detail into this mock, and they told me that it was about like a 7 to 8 month process of them getting everyone together, ordering parts, and then they told us about how they, got the mountain to work, because the mountain main island was built by several people. So it was really cool getting that information of how they built it, the process, and he even had drawings and stuff that he needed and explained the process of how you'd go about putting something like this on together if you wanted to do it yourself. Really cool, super, super awesome build. I was just really happy to get all that information and talk someone through the process of this. It was awesome. So this next build is something that I am really excited about, because this was my first interaction with someone, with one of you guys. And what really caught my eye when I was looking at this mock was the detail in the city. My favorite mocks to see when I go to conventions like this is the giant cities that people have put together. And it's always so cool seeing the different ways that everyone builds their city. I've seen people who build full subdivisions and cornfields, and just, it's always different. It's never the same. It's not like someone's copying out of a book or buying stuff online. It's always different. And for instance, there was one that was built on Mills plate. There was one that was just built on straight studs. And I always love seeing all of the different ways that people build stuff. It gives me inspiration for my city. It makes me think of how I want to do things better, things I don't like, things I do like, that kind of stuff. And this next build is super special to me because I actually got to meet one of you guys, and it was my first time doing that. And I just want to give them a little bit of a shout out and just talk about what caught my eye and the things I enjoyed about this build. Now, one of the things that first caught my eye in this build was the train. The train, the Master's train, I always see it and I'm always like, oh, this is so cool. And we have the soccer field and the Ferris wheel spinning. We have tons of building. We have the pet store there. Tons of vehicles in the road from just your normal sets. We have the trains going back and forth. The tons of transport cars going to the right, filled to the brim. The express train. We have some more trains. The downtown train car that just got released. Tons of roads and vehicles here. We have the police station. We got tons of stuff here. And as we came around the train yard, I was like, wow, this is really cool. There's tons of builds here. We have what really crossed me was the BrickFair train station. I was like, wow, that's really cool that they have one of those. And then I saw my train, and I always thought it was really cool to see someone who had built a train that I also had. So I had to go meet who it was. I had to go get their information. And I started noticing that they had a lot of the builds that I had talked about or things that I had showed off in a handful of my videos. And it turns out they actually knew who I was. They had saw my video that I talked about, the Trains with Light Pierre set that I did a while ago. And they actually decided to go out and buy the train themselves and build it and bring it to the show and fully motorize it. And it made me so happy to be able to have that impression on somebody and be able to actually deliver that to them. I thought that was really cool to be able to give someone that experience, and it was just great. They put so much detail into the set, and yeah, I mean, just was genuinely like a cool experience. They have their city all lit up with the light kits. The botanical gardens looks super good. And so this is Brick City. This is a build that he and his father put together over several years. It's terrific. Go show them some love on Instagram. There's their information. It was just so wholesome being able to meet them and have them explain to me how long it took them and why they do it. And it was just cool having a fan interaction so early in the lifetime of my channel. So I appreciate you guys for following, and I'm hoping I can bring more content to everybody that inspires you guys to build some cool stuff like they did. Hey guys, just heading out from BrickFair, Virginia today. We managed to get our brick journal they handed to everybody. But more importantly, I actually got some blasters for some of my troopers. I actually found some of the Old Republic troopers while I was around, so I managed to get like 5 of them, which I'm actually pretty happy about. They were all relatively cheap, and they actually had a 187 Airborne trooper, super cheap. And then I also got this Old Republic Clone Army Customs trooper, which is pretty sick. And then I also got the Captain Rex from the 332nd. So I definitely will probably be going to the BrickFair in August or September, whenever the next one is. So if you guys are interested and you guys are going to be doing mocks or anything like that, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. As always, I'm Bricks. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time.